John, we've talked about this before, buddy. It's inappropriate to talk like that. You really need to pick a better word, please.
Fine. My hair is pissed.
Oh, John. Welcome back, Circle. Today I'd like to tell you about my first experience with a meltdown. John and I had met numerous times before I saw a meltdown for myself. We'd hung out, we'd played video games together, he'd joined us for dinner several times. Basically, we knew each other well enough that he would look forward to me coming over so we could hang out, but still early enough in the relationship that Bella had never left us alone together. Now on this particular day, Bella had invited a close friend of hers over for lunch and her friend brought her 4-year-old son. We'll name him Alex. John was several years older, but had known him since Alex was born. Her friend was close enough that she was pretty much part of the family. She'd been around John through good times and bad. We were in the dining room eating lunch and talking. John and Alex were across from us in the living room playing video games. They'd agreed that John would beat 2 levels, then it would be Alex's turn. Well, 15 minutes into it, John was still in the first of 2 levels and Alex was really getting impatient to play. This was really starting to bug me, so I said something to Bella about it. And she and her friend felt everything was fine, but I really felt like Alex wasn't being treated right and something should be done about it. So we talked about what should be done, and me, in my infinite wisdom, said we should make John give Alex a turn. And if he didn't like it, he could stop playing the video game altogether. I'll never forget the look on Bella's face. I can only describe it as humorous delight. She looked at me and said these exact words with a genuine smile. Let me know how that works out for you. She and her friend then got up and went outside on the porch.
Did she just giggle?
Now, I have a son of my own who was 16 at the time. I mean, I'm not new to parenting, and I'd been around John enough to know that he typically listened to me and had never given me problems over anything. This was my time to shine. I was in my element.
You're such a dork.
I went into the living room and waited for an appropriate break in the video game action to tell John that he needed to give Alex a turn. Of course, he told me that he was just beating these 2 hard levels first, but I explained that he had taken too long and that Alex really should be allowed to play a little. So he started with just needing 1 more turn, because he had to beat the level. Of course, he died a couple times, so that turned out to be 3 turns. Then it went to, this part's too hard, I need to help Alex through it.
Wait, I've almost beat it.
And Alex, whose little eyes had lit up when he saw that I was there to help him get a chance to play, this little boy turned on me and said, "It's okay. He can get through the hard part. Thanks for the help, Al." This went on for a few minutes until I finally decided enough was enough. I demanded that John give the controller to Alex. I mean, I'd been nice. I'd explained the importance of sharing and of being courteous. I'd even warned of a consequence if he didn't give Alex the controller. It was time for me to take action.
You dork.
I sent Alex outside, then stood in front of the TV, blocking John's view, and told him to give me the controller.
Oh boy.
When he refused, I told him I was going to turn the TV off if he didn't do as I asked.
Your arms aren't that big.
He yelled at me to get out of the way and that he had 2 levels to beat. So, I turned the TV off. Uh-oh. Bella had told me that John was having meltdowns almost daily at this point in his life. Now, I don't want to say that I didn't believe her, but I'd been around a lot, and he was always so passive and easygoing. Things didn't always have to go his way. There had been several occasions where I didn't want to do what he wanted to do, and he was fine with it. There had been times where I'd corrected a behavior, and he complied. I knew he had autism, and I didn't just have to take Bella's word for it either. I had seen the symptoms. I saw that he would be fixated on things. Most of our conversations were about the same topics over and over. I knew that he didn't really like to go out in public and acted just a bit awkward when talking to strangers. He would fake laugh at jokes because he understood that it was supposed to be funny. I mean, I saw all of these things. But now, this sweet kid, my new best friend who clearly looked up to me and held me in high regards, who had thanked his mom profusely for introducing us so that he could have someone to hang out with, my John, began berating me as if the world was his and I was barely fortunate enough to be allowed the privilege of even existing in it. I had to leave. He demanded that his mom never let me over again. He was going to have his big brother come over and kick my butt, and on and on and on for what seemed like an eternity. I was a lot of things at that moment. I was embarrassed because I'd failed in what I was trying to do. I was shocked that a kid was berating me like an episode out of Hell's Kitchen. I was angry, frustrated, scared that this would mean the end of a relationship. Mostly, I was at a loss as to what the heck to do. Fortunately for me, Bella had been listening outside the entire time and came to the rescue. She took John to his room and was in there for about 5 minutes. When she came out, she said he was fine, and it wasn't long afterwards when John came out and apologized. Of course, I apologized too, and the rest of the day went smoothly. Later, when Bella and I had a chance to talk, she told me that meltdown was about a 3 on the 1 to 10 scale.
A 3? That was a 3?
She explained that the root cause of his anger was the fact that he had it in his mind he was going to beat 2 levels before it was Alex's turn. I learned a lot about John's concrete thinking at that point.
Step on a crack, break your mother's back.
Everything is black and white. Beating 2 levels means beating 2 levels, whether that takes 10 minutes or 10 hours. So this was the first, but by no means the last lesson I learned in not only handling a meltdown, but preventing one by looking at things through John's eyes and being a part of his world. Several years and countless meltdowns later, they still aren't fun nor easy, but they're a part of our reality. Well, Circle, we're out of time for today. My sincere hope is that you're finding some value in these videos and that you'll show us some love by hitting that subscribe button. We seriously want to reach as many people as we can.
Yeah, like 1,000,000 people.
It all starts with you spreading the word. Now for our question of the week. What's the oddest thing that you didn't know that your child didn't know? As always, leave your answers in the comment section below and we'll share our favorites next week. It's been fun hanging with you today. See you next week. Bye!